Hey guys, so as we can see, eyebrows are already done. We're going to be working with our Warrior 2 by Juvia's Place, focusing on the middle row here. We're going to go ahead and do a full face as well. I'm going to start with using my Mattifying Primer by Hard Candy, focusing more on my cheeks, my nose, and my chin area. Basically, it just prevents oil buildup, reduces shine, because my nose gets shiny. So what I'm doing is just basically making sure that's all blended in and covering the areas I want to be covered. And while that is drying, we're going to go ahead and start on our eye look. I'm using my e.l.f. primer in Pearl. And I'm just going to go ahead and start to blend that and cover my whole eyelid. Alright, so we're going to start with our eye look. We're going to be using my e.l.f. crease brush, eye crease brush, and we're going to start with the first color, which is Daura. Just going to start and go towards the top, not too far by the actual eyebrow, and then we're going to start, blending that down and make sure we got some good color there. Do the same to the other eye. Good there. So we're going to go ahead and continue to use the e.l.f. Eye Crease Brush. This time we're going to go to the next color, which is our Zama. And we're just going to work that right there more towards the crease, kind of blend it in with the previous color, go a little bit further down towards the actual lash line. So at last minute, I decided to add a fourth color to the look. So we're going to go with the Kufuru, which is the brown on this palette. And I'm basically taking my medium shader, S7 brush by Juvia. And I'm just dabbing that on the outside corner of my eye just to add some depth to the look. So next we're going to take the last color, which is the Jamata. We're still using our medium shader S7 brush. I just flipped it, and we're going to go ahead and apply that to the lower lid, more on the inside corner, and just blend it with the previous color. So now that all colors are applied, I am now going to take my blending brush, my by Juvia. It's a blending SB brush, and I'm just going over the colors. It is a little damp. It really helped with blending the colors out. So I'm just going over each eye, just blending out all the colors, making sure that, they don't look too much like lining-ish. Alright, so since I have my colors the way I wanted them, we're going to go ahead and apply lashes. I'm using my Kiss lashes, the Poise kind, and to apply them, I am using my Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive with Aloe in black. Just gonna go ahead and apply the glue, let those sit for a minute. And I'm just basically sitting them off to the side so they can try to dry and get a little tacky. Ahead and do my eyeliner. I am using my Milani Stay Put Matte liquid eyeliner that I love oh so much. Alright, so since my liner is as good as it's going to get, we're going to go ahead and apply the lashes. At this point in time, they're pretty much not dry, but almost dry to where they should stick perfectly. And lashes are applied. Just trying to make sure that inside was good and secured. So now I'm going to go ahead and do some color correcting underneath my eyes. And I'm just using a sponge and tapping it in the product and then just blotting it over the areas that I want to color correct, which are mostly under my eyes and then a little under my bottom lip. Alright, so now since I have that pretty much on the way I want it to and it's covering what I want, we're going to go ahead and apply foundation. I use the Maybelline Fit Me Matte+Poreless. The color I have is the 340 Cappuccino. And what I'm going to do is just apply it to my finger and, you know, dap it all over my skin. Then I'm going to take my beauty blender and just dab it all over, making sure that I get like a full coverage look. Try not to use too much because I don't want it to make it really seem like I have on like makeup caked on. So I just usually apply just a little bit, and if I feel that I need to add more, then I will. So foundation is on, everything's good there. So we're going to go ahead and start our concealer. Now for my under eye, what I am using for my concealer, I'm using L.A.Girl Pro concealer in the color FAWN, and I'm just basically applying it underneath my eyes in a triangle form, making sure I don't go too low. Have to make sure you, of course, do it to your face, to what fits your face. I try not to at least go past my nostril. And then I also try not to go out too far past my eye, the outer eyelid. Alright, so I'm also going to apply it to the center of my nose, the top of my forehead, not making sure I go too far out. I'm going to do it to my cupid's bow, and then a little also to my chin area. I'm just taking my beauty blender and just blending all of the concealer out, just dabbing it, making sure I keep it in that area, and then I bring it out just a little bit past my corner of my outer eye towards my hairline. Just a little, but not much. Alright, so we're all blended out. So what I'm going to do next is get my setting powder. I'm using RK by Kiss, the Set and Forget setting powder in the color Earth. What I usually do, and it's already pre-mixed, I mix it with my e.l.f. Sheer just a little bit so it's not as dark, because I'm not as dark. So it's already pre-mixed, and I just apply it to the areas where I applied the concealer. So I'm doing under eye, making sure I don't, use too much, because I don't want it to look, extra cakey. I'm applying it to the chin area and forehead area, not really too focused on my nose. Alright, so we're just going to let that sit for a minute. What we're going to do now is go ahead and contour. I didn't feel like it was under my eye good enough. But we're going to go ahead and start to contour. I'm using my NYX Conceal Correct Contour palette. I like to use the cream palette first when I'm contouring. So I'm just taking my e.l.f. contour brush and just dabbing it in the color and applying it to my forehead, not too close to my hairline, because of course I'm going to blend it out. Then I'm applying it to my cheekbone area. And then I'm also going to apply it to my jawline as well. Whenever I apply it on my jawline, I usually start a little behind my ear and just work it out a little bit. So that's what you see me doing. Then whenever I'm applying it to my nose area, I use my e.l.f. brush. I'm not exactly sure what kind of brush this is. It's a 201. It's a little bit smaller and thinner. So I just take it and I start a little bit above my eyebrow or below my eyebrow and just bring it right there on top, down and around. So didn't want to leave the setting powder on for too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and just brush that off. And I'm using my powder brush 16P by Zuvia, and just making sure the setting powder is, you know, brushed off. So now I am taking my beauty blender and I am just dabbing and bringing that top contour up and making sure it's blended well. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with my cheekbone area. I'm just dabbing and slightly doing upstrokes so it blends in with the concealer and the setting powder that I just did, so it blends lovely like. So with my contour on my nose, I typically use my finger to blend it out. So that's what you see me doing here. Just making sure that that harsh line is eliminated. Making sure I blend it out real good, which is looking like it is. So what I'm going to do now is take my Maybelline Master Contour Kit, which is the powder. I'm going to take my angled brush by Zuvia and just apply a little bit of the contour over the cream contour that I applied on my cheek areas, just giving it a little bit more of a more, you know, contoured, deep depth type of look, I guess. I'm still using my angled brush. This time I am applying blush. I'm not too big of a fan. I'm just applying it on my actual cheek area just a little bit. I usually just apply maybe like a couple swipes just so I can notice that it is there. And then lastly, I'm going to take my fan brush by Zuvia and just swipe it into my highlighter. And I'm going to apply highlighter to my nose. Then also to my forehead area. I'm just doing like light strokes. Don't want it to be too much of a highlighter. Then I'm also going to fan over my cheek areas using light strokes. Then I'm also going to lastly apply to my chin area and my Cupid's bow. Now you'll see me here, I'm just using my finger trying to buff it out just a little bit more. Didn't want the highlighter to look too harsh. So I just take it and just, you know, blend it out a little bit more on my cheek areas. And then also on my nose and my forehead, just making sure that it's evenly distributed. Alright, so lastly, I'm just applying a few sprays of my setting spray by e.l.f. And now, you guys, we have a complete look using the Warrior 2 palette by Juvia's Place. Everything used in the video will be in the description below. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.